So you guys will probably remember that I started a Project Bahia lawn with my friend Jason in Sarasota. And during the months of January through March, we basically just kept it fertilized and watered to get the existing Bahia as thick as possible. And in just a couple of months, you can see we had it looking very good. Now, we did have these areas though that were along the edges that were a mixture of signal grass and Bermuda. Most of the signal grass, it had died from the winter, and the Bermuda, it was just kind of hanging around waiting for the opportunity to spread. Now, we knew we'd need to do something quite a bit more invasive in these areas, and so I decided to try seeding. Now, I'm just letting you know up front, the seeding was a 100% failure 3 times. So the first thing I did was go ahead and spray with glyphosate in the areas that we were going to seed to kill off any remaining signal grass as well as any Bermuda grass that had invaded. And then it was a week later that we actually started the work. Let me show you exactly what we did on May 13th of 2023. So the first thing we did was take his mower and scalp these areas down as much as possible, and then used a garden weasel to break up the top layer of soil and debris. Now, this is not an actual branded garden weasel. This one is branded as Corona, but a garden weasel tool is what I call this thing. All right, so this is what we have, Pensacola Bahia grass. Now, you don't have to worry about this matching. If you get Pensacola Bahia grass, and that's what you have right there, it's gonna match. It's not like you have to worry about there's like midnight Bahia grass and Mecum Bahia grass. No, it's just, that's it. Now, you definitely do not wanna get Argentine Bahia grass because that is thick bladed. It doesn't look anything like this. So if you have the Bahia grass that's in lawns that looks like that, it's Pensacola Bahia grass. And you can see this 3 pounds here will cover 600 square feet. We have 1,300 here. So we're actually gonna get this bigger one. And basically that right there will cover the entire front lawn. You wanna have some fun? That is 7 pounds. What do you think that costs?
7 pounds?
Yeah, just your guess. It's just a 7-pound bag of grass seed. What do you think it costs? 20, 25 bucks? You ready? Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, so. But it's just, a lot of people don't buy it. There's just not a huge demand for it, I guess.
Oh, I see. So that's what.
Well, and most people that live here, they don't know. So what they do is they just buy the cheapest grass seed at Home Depot, and it's not that.
Yeah.
It's usually annual rye or something, and they just pitch it, or Bermuda. So, okay. Next, we spread the seed using a broadcast spreader and applied a little bit heavier in the thin spots, as well as used some seeding success covering, which is essentially just recycled newspaper that you put down and it expands when water hits it. This will help to keep the seed from washing away as well as retain moisture. Next, I applied flagship to the entire lawn, and that was mostly to feed the existing turf. And I also applied an application of CK to the entire lawn that would help not only the existing turf, but the seed as well. From here, Jason's job was to water, and he did that twice a day, in the morning before work and again in the afternoon when he got home. Now keep in mind, this is not an irrigated lawn. He has to water by hand or with manual sprinklers. That's how most Bahia lawns in Florida are, non-irrigated. And then 33 days later, we met back up, and here were the results. All right, y'all, so here we are. Really, this is a sad day because Jason has to live with his neighbors making fun of him because the seed didn't grow. So I told you guys I haven't done Bahia before, so we wanted to try seed because we thought that would be the easiest. A bunch of you warned me even that it wasn't gonna work, and it didn't. We got one little spot over there. We think we might've got some germination, and it's been watered. He's watered religiously. We've even had some rain here and there. So something's off. You said one of your neighbors actually got mad at you for they thought you hired me?
Yeah, that's what they thought, and they were like, "Man, he got rid. We're so sorry. What about what happened and all that stuff?" I was like, "No, he's helping me. It's take it easy." But thank you.
What did the other one say? What does the lawn have?
I said my lawn has mange.
Mange, yeah. So his neighbors are ribbing him. I'm starting to feel slightly bad, maybe like this much. Anyway, what we're gonna do today, we're gonna do 2 things. The first thing is we have some of the original seed left that we first seeded with. So I'm gonna take it home and put it in a cup of water and just see if the seed germinates. That's my first choice. I also have some new seed that I bought. We're gonna germinate that, but we're gonna put some more down. So we're gonna put more seed down. We do have Bermuda coming in here. I mean, really what I should do is glyphosate, kill it again. But I mean, that's just gonna put us out. So, and the Bermuda's gonna come back anyway. So we're gonna go ahead and try to seed some more Bahia in here. Give it one more shot, water it the best we can, come back in a couple weeks, and if that doesn't work, then we're gonna sod.
Sounds good.
All right, there we go. So while I got Jason doing all the real work, that's how this really works, just so y'all know. He's done all the work. But I am finding a lot of ungerminated seed when I dig around now. So I really think this is pretty much the same as anything. It's a water problem. Not that he hasn't been watering enough. It's just the soil here is very sandy and it drains really fast. So it's not even a matter of being able to water. It's a matter of we need rain. I think this is the same thing that I used to get up north. I used to tell people when you seed up north, you're gonna water all the way through and you're not gonna get a lot of germination, if any, and then all of a sudden it's gonna rain and poof, all your seed will come up. And those of you that have done seeding, you know that. I think that's the same thing that's gonna happen here. We've had a couple days of good rain, but it hasn't been consistent here. They're actually a lot closer to the water here, only a few blocks away. So most of the rainstorms actually end up blowing over them. So their rainy season starts a little bit later than ours, where I'm inland, not far, but that's just kind of how it works. So I think that's gonna happen. We're gonna go ahead and put down more seed. He's gonna water the best he can. We're gonna hope for rain. And I'm guessing now, I think that in the next couple of weeks, when we do get enough rain, it's all gonna come up. That's how I'm hoping for the best. You know, I once heard that the coating that they put on seeds, it seems like it's all good, but actually you buy seed by weight. So this is 7 pounds, but actually that coating on the seeds is part of the weight. So you're not getting as many grass seeds when you buy coated seed. Do you guys think that's true? Now, one thing I do want to point out here is just how good the existing Bahia looks. For those of you who despise this grass, I'm going to tell you, if you feed it, it will thicken up and it will look awesome. You can see it here. This is just from consistent nitrogen fertilizer and water. Now back to those brown and dead spots. So we did a second seeding. That was more garden weasel, more seed, more garden weasel, more seeding success to help cover everything up, hold in the moisture, all that kind of stuff. And I want you to keep in mind, all of the seed that we did in the first seeding 33 days ago, that's still here, plus the new seed we put down the second time, it's here as well. Now, one other thing I did is I planted some seed in cups with just water. The first reason for that is I just wanted to make sure the seed was viable, that it was okay or good, right? And then the second thing I wanted to do was be able to monitor it just to see how long does it take Bahia seed to actually germinate so I could better set my expectations. I'll show you those results here in just a minute. Now, in the meantime, I had tried to Google search, how long does it take Bahia grass to germinate? So I decided to go ahead and get smart and actually call Pennington. They're the ones that package this seed up. And I would ask them how long it took to germinate. And here's what they said.
I can.
There
this
we
is
go,
Angie calling you back about the Pensacola Bahia grass.
Oh, yeah, thank you. That was a quick callback. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. I was on the other line when you called, so sorry we missed your call. That can take up to about 30 days to germinate under optimum conditions.
Oh, wow, 30 days to germinate. Okay, I always thought I was doing something
I mean,
wrong.
you can see it as early as 16, but it can take up to 30. So how long have you had it down?
My second seeding has been down 2 weeks, but I put some in a cup with water just to make sure the seed was good, and it didn't germinate either, but it hasn't been 30 days. It's been like 10.
Well, and that doing it in just water with that coated seed, you're not going to have the same results as you would raw seed either if you have it just in a cup of water. But yeah, if after the 30 days you don't see anything and you don't want to add more to it till you've given it that time to germinate, if you have your packaging and receipt and do not have results or it fails to germinate, our guarantee is stated on the bag. It states keep your bag and receipt. We don't actually need your entire empty bag. We just need the seed tag and UPC barcode off of it as well as your receipt.
Okay, yeah, and I'm not worried about getting my money back. I just want it to work. So that's why I called to see how long the germination took. So I just haven't waited long enough, it seems like. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if your days are 80 and above, nights not dropping below 65, you're in the correct temperature range. But yeah, Bahia is any warm season, but especially Bahia is very slow to germinate.
Okay. Well, then I'll just give it some more time and keep watering.
Yes, sir. And if you have any questions in the meantime, you let us know.
Okay. Thanks for your help. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So now I was armed with the knowledge that it takes a good 30 days just for germination. And just to give you some perspective on that, perennial ryegrass that you guys grow up north, it germinates in about 3 days. Tall fescue, that germinates in like 7 to 10 days. Kentucky bluegrass varies, but some of the newer varieties, they also germinate in under 10 days. And 99% of people who have experience seeding lawns, they have experience with cool season grass types. And so the expectation is that seed should germinate in a week or less. It seems that Bahia, though, it's just not that way. Germination, that's pretty much when the seed cracks and you can just barely see a little bit of green sticking out. And according to Pennington, that's 30 days. I guess 16 days is to 30, 16 to 30, but 30 seems to be the expectation they're setting. And something to do with the coating on the seed would stop me from being able to grow it just in a cup in water. So I get that, and I have no idea why that would be, but I went ahead and kept on with my experiment anyway just to see what I would come up with. So every couple of days I would add a little more water to the cups. On July 3rd, 15 days after seeding, I got one seed to germinate. Some others looked a little cracked and possibly could have germinated, but it was hard to tell. Then, just a couple days ago, I saw even more, but really not too much to get excited about. All right, we have a development here. Now, I don't know if this is something that blew in there. I don't know if this is something that blew in there or if this is actual Bahia grass. Let's see if we zoom in. Does it look like it's rooted into something? Whoa. And there's nothing on this side. Yeah, it's hot out here, I know. So I don't know, is that actual Bahia grass? Yeah, it's kind of stuck in there. Grew a lot in one day. And I think there's another one coming up right there. So, there we go. July 3rd. Give them a little more water. Okay, so today is July 13th. So just to put a final bow on this actually, a lot of this did germinate. That's what all that cracking was. I just noticed it in the edit. I didn't notice it when I was actually filming the stuff, but I've noticed it while I was editing now. So we did get a lot of germination. All that seed cracking. And so when she says it won't grow in a cup, I think that's what she meant. It'll just crack and germinate, but then that's it. You won't really see any growth. So we can call this a fail still because I didn't even notice, but that's the key. It's all water. Water, 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 water. All right, so let me recap here real quick. So the initial seeding that I did completely failed. The seed that I kept wet in cups in a controlled environment pretty much failed too. Keeping seed wet every single day in a controlled environment, it only showed a couple 2-tree seeds actually germinating. And so I had very little hope about what I was gonna find when I went back out to Jason's this past weekend to check on the status of that second seeding. And here's what I found. All right, y'all, so here we are. Was July 7th, 8th? July 8th today? Yeah, and so I've showed you now that the seed at my house has failed. That was in perfect watering conditions, so now we'll show you the seed here has also failed. It's actually still just sitting here, not growing. So here we are. Now you can see a lot of the wild Bermuda has moved back in. Other weeds. Here's all the seed. Look at it. It's just sitting on top. Not moving. Nothing. No change. It's everywhere. Look. So crazy. It just doesn't germinate. Now keep in mind the original seed we put down, it's been there much longer than 30 days by now and still nothing. The second seeding has been down about 30 days and that's also a complete fail. Seed in a cup, constantly wet for 3 weeks, some results, but nothing really spectacular. That's 3 failures with Bahia grass seed to the account of the lawn care nut. So what did I learn here? I'll tell you what I learned. I do not recommend that you waste your time or money seeding Bahia grass. It's just too finicky. 30 days to germinate, it just seems like too long of a ramp for anyone, especially when the lawn has to be watered manually like in our case here. You know, this is a working man. Jason has a job, so he has to leave early in the morning. So he waters in the morning before work and he waters in the afternoon when he gets home. And apparently that's just not enough. I have no idea why Pennington would sell Bahia grass seed with such a large failure rate and such a long ramp time, but they do. The second thing to consider here is that in Florida, most Bahia lawns, they're not irrigated. This is why they planted Bahia in the first place. It's mainly considered to be a roadside grass or a pasture grass that can survive without irrigation. So to sell seed that takes 30 days to germinate and has to be wet all the time, knowing that most of those lawns are not irrigated, it just seems like a losing battle to me. And as you can see, I faced that losing battle. So what are we gonna do next? What we're gonna do next is we're gonna sod it. And that's probably what we should do in the beginning. So make sure you subscribe, stay tuned here. I hope that you've learned something from my failures and that you won't waste your money on Bahia grass seed. And if you've had success with seeding Bahia, let me know below. Tell me what you did, how you did it. I have some Bahia seed left over. Maybe I'll put it in some perfect situation with dirt and keep it wet and see if I can get it to grow that way. It's kind of a challenge for me now. So I'm gonna get some seed to grow somewhere, but it's definitely not gonna be our project lawn. We're gonna go ahead and sod that. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a little something. Leave me your comments and questions below. Hit the like button and I'll see you in the lawn.